About 6 hours to the east of us in Phoenix, the city continues its record streak of days at 110 degrees and above, now tallying 24 consecutive 110-plus days.
Mercury in Phoenix hitting 113 degrees today. I'm Tom Graham, and this is Fox News.
Oh, I thought you meant I got you.
Here you go, Kip Capley.
Hello, everybody. You are listening to Tennessee Talking Tennessee with State Representative Kip Capley, better known as Kip. And I'm here with my friends, Lawrence Sutton and Mr. Chris Morris. How are y'all doing?
What's going on, buddy?
Living the dream, baby.
Doing great.
The dream.
It's always, you're doing great when you're around great company. So
That's right.
That's right. So, I mean, we don't have too much, and I'm going to tell you, we want to dive right into your meeting with our illustrious Governor Bill Lee.
Illustrious Governor Bill Lee.
Well, we want to give a shout out to strikers.
Shout out to strikers
right
off
on
the
front
bat.
end.
Right off the
That's
front
right.
end. Right
That's
off the
right.
bat.
Where's our food at? We didn't have food this
That's
time.
my bad.
Kip let us down.
I did.
We're going to have to fire him.
I come back from big city. I got distracted, so I did eat there yesterday. I had the chicken Alfredo. It was really good.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Yeah, we got a lot of ground to cover, so Kip, let's jump on it.
We'll roll right into it. So the governor's been meeting in small groups with different legislators across the state, both senators and representatives. And my day was this past Thursday, I believe. He started this, I guess, in March, April.
April, yeah, really.
So I was at the tail end, folks at home. You can probably figure that out why I was so late in the game to get to meet with him, because he knew where I was. So, kind of don't want to waste your time with somebody that's anyway. So 7 of us in there. I won't name everybody that was in there on the radio, but it was a mix of some different folks. Had some good conservatives in there and myself.
But it was 7 Republicans.
Yeah, it was 7 Republicans. Several of us were new, which was fine. Then we had some more experienced individuals in there as well. And he was very poignant and respectful, but he talked for about an hour. And some of the things I'm going to say, obviously I'm not going to betray the confidence and feel like I'm running my mouth, but I'll give you all a kind of a general update of how it went. He talked about his reasoning for calling this special session, and there will be a special session. Don't listen to the media outlets and everybody at home saying, oh, well, maybe we won't have this, or oh, well, maybe he's not going to do it, or oh, maybe he's thinking about not having it. He's having it. There's no doubt. He said that probably 10 different times that he's having it. There is no maybe, if, ands, or buts about it. We're going to have one.
So everybody needs to get ready for August
21.
August 21. Everybody needs to be there
You
because
need to be ready.
Because if you're not there August 21, I don't want to hear it later when you say, "Oh, well, we lost our gun rights," because you weren't there. You were not participating. You were at home watching Dancing with the Stars. Have a nice day.
The projections right now, there's going to be anywhere from 10 to 15,000 people at the Capitol on August.
There should be 10 or 15,000 Republican conservatives.
There should be.
And I'm going to say conservatives. I'm going to I'm conservative before I'm Republican.
Absolutely.
I'm a Christian before I'm a conservative.
Then you're a constitutionalist, right?
Then I'm a constitutionalist, and about fourth down, then I will put Republican in front of my name. And some people, they may want to say, "Oh, well, you're not truly a Republican," and you could be right, because I am going to be a Christ follower first.
Yep, absolutely. So he had talked. We're at the residence, and he had talked for about an hour. And I want everybody to hear this at home. He was very respectful. He was very poignant. He did not twist anybody's arm. He didn't make any kind of derogatory comments. He didn't disrespect anybody. But he was extremely firm on his viewpoint of having this special session. And he made a couple comments of why he wanted to do it, and he represented all Tennesseans across the state, and they're screaming at him, telling him that they want something to be done, and he doesn't just represent Republicans, he represents Democrats, and yada yada yada. So, however you feel about that, that is what it is. That's what he said.
So, isn't this state though more than 70% Republican?
We're up there. I mean, it's
isn't it more like 75% Republican?
We're well above 60. I know that for sure. I don't know the exact percentages. I can't remember this last gubernatorial election because he just absolutely smacked the Democrat that ran against. I didn't even pay attention because we just all knew he was going to win.
Right, but of the 99 House reps,
yeah, 75 of us are Republicans.
75 of the 99. So see, to me, that's 75%.
Yeah. And I think it's, Chris, isn't it 27 out of the 32? It's 32 senators, right? There's
33 senators.
33 senators.
But 27 of them
are Republicans.
put an R behind their name. And you and I both know, brother, there's only 7 true.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Out of that 27, we only got 7 conservative senators.
We can go down that road for a different time on that one, but yes.
We can beat that dog to death.
That's right.
That's
75
correct.
out of the 99 total House of Representatives are Republicans. So, again, respectful, pointed he was nice, but he was firm about it, and he listed off all these reasons, blah, 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 in front of, told us all why he was wanting to do it, and very serious about it. And so he went around the room after he talked for about 45 minutes to an hour, and he let everybody get an opportunity to speak. And, obviously, I'm the youngest person in this room. I'm 26.
You're the youngest one in the
General Assembly, absolutely. In the whole House and Senate, I'm the youngest one. But even in the room itself, I've got the governor and I've got everybody else in there who's, if they're not double my age, they're triple my age in there. And they just kind of, the term that I like to call it is they're just kind of metal mouthing around. They're not giving them any pushback. They're not. All the ideas were, well, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that. What do you think about this?
So, in other words,
Lawrence,
no balls. That's what it means.
Well, that's our phrase. They're tiptoeing through the tulip.
Yeah.
No, I'd say that.
Until it got to me, and then there was
no balls.
There was another one before me that made a couple comments, but he didn't push the envelope, and he told me he wanted to be respectful of his time and all that. And I get it. That's fine. Everybody takes their own approach.
Well, hang on. Being respectful of the time, you're the one that went up to the mansion.
That's true.
Did he come see you at your house?
He did not.
Okay, so respectful of his time?
That's what the one that went before me said to me after.
Right.
So
yeah, I know that.
That's his opinion. Hey, whatever. Do what you got to do.
Right.
So he comes around. Hey, so people are, we all know people are something. Comes around to me. And, I've sat there and listened to this for well over an hour now, and I've done my best. I went in there, and I knew that it was not going to go. I kind of had an idea of how it was going to go, right? Me and him obviously disagree on this, could not be further from each other on this perspective. So I went in. I wanted to be respectful. I wanted to be firm. I wanted to be poignant with my conversations, just let him know. But I wasn't planning on breaking the ice and letting me being the first one to say, hey, this is what we're doing. So he
played your cards.
Well, yeah, and he gets to me and he goes, Kip, have you got anything to say? And I guess he could see the smoke coming out of my ears. And I just flat out told him, I said, Governor, I don't think you had enough time for everything I got to tell you. And I told him, I led off. I said, look, mental health, I think all three of us can agree. Mental health is an issue across our state, 100%. Our sheriff's departments have got to go from Lawrence County to Bolivar to transport these people. Wayne County got to go to Bolivar. It's the same thing. Costs them $7,000 to transport in Wayne County. They got to sit over there all day. We got a deputy off shift, and it's a mess. That's a 3.5-hour drive. That's a long way.
That is
for a mental health call.
Yes.
And that takes a deputy off Lawrence County streets, off Wayne County streets that can be fighting crime, protecting the community, helping out, our citizens. That's an issue, for sure. We can all agree on that. That there's no, I don't know if you'd find a Republican or a Democrat across the state that would say, hey, I'm not for helping people that have mental health issues. I mean, that's just, why are we even talking about it, right?
Wait a minute, don't mix us with them Democrats.
Well, no, I'm just saying yeah.
Time out here.
Yeah, no, but
we love you, Kip, but don't get us in that.
I think Chris just turned red.
Yeah.
If you can see him on TV, I think Chris is red right now.
Let me change that. I don't think you'll find a Republican across the state that's going to say we don't need something with mental health.
Right.
And I told him, I said, whether that's maybe we put some more money in the budget to get a new hospital opened up. Maybe we get more beds onto some of these facilities where if they're full, instead of us, say Bolivar doesn't do them overnight unless it's a special circumstance, but instead of having to take them to Chattanooga or Nashville or somewhere else, maybe we put one somewhere else. That's what I led off with. That's a great idea. And, and then I told him, I said, look, I hate to be the one to do this, but I don't. I said, let me tell you something. You've sat here and told us that you don't care what people think about you. You don't care how it looks. You don't care what the situation is. You're doing what you think is the right thing to do. And you told us that we don't have to defend you on this. And I said, but there's a problem with that because you're my governor. I voted for you. All us Republicans voted for you when you were running against a Democrat. So you're our governor. That's it. I mean, I voted for a Republican over a Democrat. I'm going to do that until I die unless something changes, which, God forbid. But you're our governor. You are the Republican. So we kind of have to semi-defend you on some of these things because, look, hey, some of these media outlets on our side, we all know this, they twist it a little bit. They get a little twisted. They get a little twisted on the facts, and that's fine. But if something's wrong, I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're Mickey Mouse. The truth is the truth, and if it's a lie, it's a lie. And that's it. That's the bottom line. I told him that second. I said, you're a Christian. I love you. You're my brother in Christ, but we are not going to win this. And as soon as that come out of my mouth, I could see he was like, well, I wasn't really expecting that one, but here we go. And after that, I just went on a roll. I just told him, I said, look, we're not going to win. We will not win this. No matter what you think is going to happen, we're never going to do enough for the Democrats because they're never satisfied with anything that we do.
Not until they take all of the guns.
Correct.
And they put us in bondage and chains.
Yeah, and then it'll be, we got to ban knives and, assault vehicles and, my F-150 out there will be a tank before they're done with it. And
well, then it'll get down to ball bats.
Yeah, and everything else. Yeah.
I got news for you. Behind the gun, I could do the second most damage with a baseball bat. I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah,
I could hit a baseball 450 feet. I can do some damage with a baseball bat.
And we had a really healthy, it was a respectful, healthy back and forth for probably 10 minutes. And I just flat out laid it out for him. I mean, I told him, I said, never enough for the Democrats. I said, you've punched our base in the mouth. Because they all think that you're the devil and that you're coming for our guns.
Absolutely.
And he said, well, that's not what I'm doing. And I said, and that's fine. That's fine if that's not what you're doing. If that's what you're telling me, I believe you. But here's the problem. The narrative that has been twisted so bad by both groups, by everybody, because we don't have any information. I haven't seen any bills other than the crap that he put out there in, I guess it was, when was that, March or April? One of them at the end. Yeah. That was just looked like it come from Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi.
So can you tell us kind of some of the things that were in there? Do you remember it?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
I mean, I want the people to know this.
It was a flat, no knock warrant. Sheriff's Department come in, kick your door in, shoot your dog, take your guns. I mean, just...
And slap your mother on the way
slap your
out
mom,
the door.
and you're just standing there and you can't do nothing about it. So I'm not going to defend that because I don't know where that come from. Maybe he didn't know what he was putting out there. Maybe he just said, here, throw something together and it's not going to pass, but we're just going to do it for media. I don't know, but it sucked.
Was this on late filing bills? Or?
No, it was, well, it might have been.
Where he was trying to get some legislator to carry it.
It was some. I can't remember. It was at the tail end of session, but it was just bad. And I remember reading it, and I've slept since then. And I remember going through it, and it was just trash, just awful. And he admitted that in the meeting that one wasn't what he wanted to do. And the thing that I kept driving home to him is that it doesn't matter what you think is going on. Everybody where I live and where I'm from is so mad, and they don't have anything else to go off of. So what do you want us to think? I mean, we don't have anything else to go off of.
Well, one, he's hiding it, number one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that because he has to know at this point what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So
and we'll get into that too. Yeah.
He's hiding it. The other thing is not only is he hiding it, and something that we haven't talked about in 2 or 3 weeks, and I haven't heard it on even the regular news, is the shooter. What about the manifesto?
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about the manifesto right now either.
It's hung up.
It is
Other than us
absolutely
talking
gone.
about it.
It is absolutely gone. Like I said, we hadn't talked about it in 2 weeks.
That's
We can
right.
get it.
We
I'll
did-
give you all
we
an
did
update
talk
on
about
that
it.
one too. I got a
But
little bit of
let's
information
put
on
in
that.
1.5.
Yep.
You know that there's money from the feds if states will pass some form of red flag laws. So is our governor wanting to become recipients of the federal government by getting some of this Bidenomics money?
I didn't get that impression. I've been told by him. You know, who knows? I'm not high enough on the totem pole, folks. So I just tell you what I hear, and it is what it is.
Kip, the only thing
But
I can tell you, brother, is always
anything's
expect the
possible.
unexpected.
That's true. And people have asked me about it, and that's a good point. And I've had a lot of folks text me and call me and ask me about it. And they said, is there a chance of something passing? Is there, what do you think could happen? And my answer has always been, sure, there's a chance. There's a chance of anything. There's always a chance.
First and foremost, you got 24 Democrats in the House.
Right.
And what I keep hearing, and I've heard this from different legislators and more so from locally legislators, Scott Serpicki up in Columbia, that there's about 22, 23 Republicans that are on the side to side with the Democrats, and it don't take a lot. You do the math. We only got to have the number of 50 to get it through the House.
Yep.
So it's kind of scary.
Yep.
So if you put 23 or 24 to 24 already, you got 47 or 48, and you ain't got to grab but 3 or 4 more people. You think about it, or 2 or 3 more
There's
people.
always a chance. I mean, and there is. Now, my general answer beyond there's always a chance has been no. I don't think that there's going to be a red flag law passed. And certainly if all the committees stay the same like I think they're going to, then that's not going to make it through the committees that I sit on. And it'll have to go through both of them that I sit on. It'll have to go through Civil Justice Sub. It'll have to go through Civil Justice Full. I sit on both of those. And they don't have the votes to get them out of
The
there.
only thing I'm going to say about those committees,
Yeah.
you're going into a special session.
They can be changed.
They can be changed.
They could.
And
They
don't
could.
think for a second
They
with
could.
some of this leadership we've got in
could.
the House, Senate Majority Leader, Speaker of the House, they know where you stand.
They could. It could
They
change.
may put you on the outhouse committee or or
on
the dog
toilet
catcher
cleaner, yeah.
committee.
I've been. Again, we'll go into this here in a little bit, but as far as I know, right now they're going to stay the same. Where we're sitting right now, as far as I know.
Okay.
As far as I know, now that could change, but as far as I know, the information I've gotten, we're hearing that they're going to stay the same. So
Now, where are you getting that information from? Not to press you. Is that coming from
come
Cameron
down
Sexton?
from leadership, yeah.
Okay.
It didn't come directly from the speaker, but yeah, that and he's the one that makes the decisions.
Right,
So
correct.
he runs the show in the House of how the committee system works, and it did come down from leadership that we think. And the issue is right now we don't have any information. We have nothing.
I know.
mean, I don't have a bill to look at. I don't have a sponsor who's carrying the bill to look at. I don't have nothing. I mean, August 21st is not that far away.
It's less than a month.
And
And they've been working on this since April.
long time. And the problem is, I'm not the only one that doesn't have anything.
Oh, I know. Nobody does.
Our caucus as a whole, as far as I know, I don't know nothing. That's not good.
That's done on purpose.
That's really that's rough. So, backing up to the meeting, I just told him. I said, right now, I could guarantee you that somebody is going to make a motion to adjourn as soon as we get on the floor. Whether that's at noon, whether that's at 5 o'clock, I don't know what. We don't even know when the session's going to be. It could be.
What
a
was
noon
his
session.
reaction
It could
to
be a 5
that?
o'clock session. He just looked at me, and I said, "Somebody's going to make a motion to adjourn, right? No matter how you feel, if you're for the special session, if you're against the special session, if you're somewhere in the middle, somebody's going to make that motion. And folks at home, that motion is non-debatable. So whoever stands up and says, I make a motion to adjourn, there's no more comments made. We go straight to the board and we vote. Now, everybody at home knows how I'm voting. If that comes up, I'm going to vote for it. But here's the problem with that. I'm a long-term thinker, guys. I think down the road. Every single member in our caucus, the population might be different. They might represent some cities. They might represent rural people, whatever. If their folks are for the special session, I guarantee you they got people at home that are against it. And that's going to put them on a vote that's going to divide their constituents against the representative. And guess who that falls at the feet of? Billy. For calling the special session. That's the first bad vote we're going to be put on.
Right.
Not for me, but for other people.
Right.
I'm thinking about everybody.
I think you're pretty safe here.
Yeah, we'll be fine. But I'm thinking about everybody, and that's what I told him. And he said, well, I understand. And I said, and people are going to be mad, and they're mad right now.
Did he look shocked when you told him that?
At first he was, but once we kind of got into this, and like I say, it was not a disrespect. It was a healthy, respectful. It could not have gone better other than him agreeing with me. It was a healthy back and forth as far as it being respectful of just two further. I mean, our opinions could not have been different, but at first he was definitely shocked. And then I told him this. I'll tell you what really shocked him. I told him, I said, right now our base thinks you're the devil. And he just was like, whoa, and started laughing. And I was like, the narrative has been twisted so bad that it doesn't matter what we do because we can't change it now. So everybody at home thinks you've called this special session to appease the Democrats. And he said, well, I don't care what the liberals think. I don't care what the Democrats think, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, but I have to represent, well, and he said, well, I got to represent everybody, so it's not really if I care or not, this, that, whatever. And then he said, okay, well, what if we get in special session, right, and we help all Tennesseans, liberals, Republicans, everybody. What if we help everybody and pass really good things? And I said, okay.
So what is it?
Fair point.
Yep.
Fair point. You're saying that you care about everybody, liberals and Republicans, all that. I understand that. Hey, good for you. Here's the problem with that. It doesn't matter if we pass something good or not, because the narrative of this whole thing has turned into you've called the special session to appease the Democrats, so it doesn't matter what we do, because there's going to be certain amounts of people that are already so upset with you. They don't care.
But see, to me, I kind of agree with him on this aspect. I could care less what the Democrats think.
Yeah.
But here's what I do think. It doesn't matter if he's doing it to appease the Democrats. Mm-hmm. To me, I look at it as he's doing things to put a little chink in the Second Amendment. And once you start putting little chinks in the Second Amendment, it's going to get chipped away, one bill at a time, till eventually we're New York or we're California.
Yeah. And, he said, well, we'll just have to agree to disagree on it. And I hope that we get good things done for Tennesseans. And I said, Governor, you're right. I hope we get good things done with Tennesseans, but the problem is that we're not going to come out of this with a win. We're just not. And the thing about that is, and again, I'm thinking long term, our base has gone through so much already with this call for the special session that we could pass the perfect solution. We could fix something. We could do whatever. But the problem is that it's turned into this catastrophe of it makes us look weak. It makes Republicans as a whole in Tennessee look weak.
To me, I tell you what I think. It makes me think that somebody on the Republican end is trying to stab us in the back, because they've been working on this since April at least, and they haven't put anything else out there. No, it doesn't make us look weak.
It's kind of scary.
It makes it, to me, I think Bill Lee is coming in to stab us in the back, is what I think.
Well, and I don't understand, and we had told him, I said, from a safety aspect, I'm pretty sure we're going to be the only legislature in the country that's going at this time. We'll be the only one in session in the country.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have every Democrat from here to, California, Seattle,
Portland,
Maine,
Chicago,
Maine,
New York,
New Hampshire, everywhere else are going to be here. We've got our troopers are going to be at risk because they're going to have to be dealing with the crazies outside.
Yeah,
we're going to be at risk because we got crazy people inside. Our staff's going to be at risk because they're just innocent bystanders. But these protesters are so crazy they'll just hit anybody. I mean, we've seen that.
Well,
Try that in a small town. But,
what about what about our federal government that's bringing in feds and putting them in the crowds in order to get the crowds going to start riots and stuff? I mean, that's been proven how our own government's doing that. Our own federal government is going in and they are riling people up.
Yeah, it creates a tinderbox for disaster.
Yeah,
is what it is, and like I said, we had a really healthy debate, and I told him, I said, I'm not for this. I love you as a person. I think you're missing it on this. I think we're going to put a lot of people in danger. We're just not going to win. It's going to make us look bad, and I think he respected that, and we had a good conversation after that was over with. But it just got to a point where you kind of know when you're talking to somebody that you're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
It hit that point, and I was like, well, I love you, but we're just going to be done.
He started out in May, then moved it to July, now to the near end of August.
Yeah.
We're not that far away from session in January.
No.
And we've heard Clay Doggett say numerous times, hey, we're that close. There's nothing that important they can't wait till January,
but
when other states are back in session as well.
Yes, sir. That was the point I was going to say.
I can see it on your face.
Yes, other states, but we have to do it when no other states, so we can get all the crazies to come out and show off and everything. Again, I mean, I'm going to keep beating this. I know I keep beating this down. I'm sorry, kid.
No, go ahead. No.
But the fact is he has been working on this since April and hasn't even released anything to you guys. That right there tells me that nefarious things are going on.
And I agree.
Flat out don't trust it.
Yeah.
Now, Kip, you brought up about the manifesto that you had some updated news.
Yes, so we'll bounce to that next. And that one final point I was going to make on that is I almost have to give him respect in the degree of when he said he didn't care about the liberals and the liberal media and how they reacted to him. He was going to do the right thing for Tennesseans. In his mind, and as a concept, I have to respect that if that's what his true intentions are, because you're supposed to govern with a blind eye to politics, right? You're supposed to do what's the right thing for everybody, but unfortunately, I don't see that heading in this direction. Is I guess how I was trying to word that earlier, but
no, I get it. But you know what? Here's the thing: the liberal media right now is loving them some Bill Lee.
Absolutely,
liberal media loves them some Bill Lee. So Bill Lee, I know you don't care because you're getting some love right now from the liberal media,
and that's you're right. And like I said, as a concept, that makes sense, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do the right thing, irregardless of politics. If that's what you think, obviously that's not what's happening right now. But as a concept, I respect that. But obviously I disagree with what's going on. So,
right.
But going to the manifesto, just wanted to throw that back out there. The manifesto. So right now, there's an issue. It's hung up in court from the last thing that I've heard because there's been an injunction or something filed from a family related to the Covenant School against releasing the manifesto based on, somebody's name or something. And like I said, the manifesto is 212 pages. It's got a full map of the school. It's got people's names that were there, that worked there, that she was in love with. And obviously the three of us could just say, well, why don't you just redact all that stuff that we don't need to see and put it out there. But
you've actually not seen any part of it.
I have not yet, but okay. I am planning on doing that if I can. I got the opportunity to do that if it's still there. As far as I know, Metro's fine with releasing it. Metro Nashville's fine.
Really?
They are fine.
Because they were arguing here about two months ago about releasing it.
They're fine.
So who's holding it up then?
It's the court system.
It's the court system.
There's a judge. I cannot remember where it's at. I think it's in some circuit something. It's being hung up. And I don't know if it's Metro's attorney that's having to deal with the attorney from Covenant that's filed the injunction or whatever that's kind of floating around. You know how the court system works.
Well, you can bet it's a liberal.
Just one of them. Yeah, well, yeah, it's in Nashville, so 100%.
No.
Are you
kidding me?
It's probably their DA Funk up there.
Oh,
He is.
God.
He's a master of disaster.
Yeah, he is. And here's the thing. It needs to be released for sure, without a doubt. Obviously, the map of the school and the some of that other stuff and the people's names that are still around, that needs to be redacted. We don't need to know their names. I have no interest in knowing what Audrey Hale or who she was in love with and all that. I could care less about any of that. So I think we're all fine with that, but it's just one of them deals where it's hung up in court. Another thing that I want to know is I want the toxicology report. I want to know what she was on. She was on something. I don't know if it was hormones or some kind of drugs, but we know she's on something. Somebody transitioning from a female to a male or whatever, hopped up on something. We need to know that too. I don't know where that is, but we need to know that.
Yeah, I wonder, that's something that you think about. If you got a female taking testosterone, what that does. I mean, I know as women, as they change, and they go through their changes of life, their estrogen levels drop and their testosterone's level rise, and that's when women can get mean. I mean, women can get mean during those times.
But we've got a lot of ground to cover. I mentioned to Charlotte earlier, there's just so much that's come at us in the last few days.
It's a lot.
And we need to pump it out there.
Yeah.
Maybe she may let us tweak a little extra minute or two.
If we're
I
sweet
just
to
want
her.
to give a disclaimer out. We did not coordinate blue with each
We
other
did not.
today. So
No.
before anybody notices that,
Yeah, we have not. Yeah,
we didn't color coordinate. But
No.
anyway, we're all the men in blue today.
that's right. The
And we
Blues-
support the
Blues
blue
Brothers. That's
Just
right.
think,
We do.
We support the blue.
We do. We back the blue.
Hey, let's we can beat this special session to death. I know the governor, I wish he would listen to the true core conservatives that actually gave him the football on his first election, where we handed him the ball and he ran it in for the touchdown.
Yep.
Right.
If it wasn't for true core conservatives, he would not have won. And he's forgot. But let's get on to let's talk a little bit about Jason Aldean and CMT. I've given it the new name, Communist Music Television.
Try that in a small town, baby. Try it.
I think I have listened to the video. I don't listen to country music really. About the only thing I listen to is Christian music. But I've listened to that song probably, I'm guessing, a dozen times, and I can't find anything where it's racist or anything else. But I tell you what I do see, and I'm going to tell you why the song is hated. You want me to tell you why the song's hated?
Was truthful.
Well, no. He says in one of the lines, he goes, I got my grandpa's gun, and I hear they're going to come for that gun one day, and that blank will not go in a small town. I'm telling you, that line right there is what's pissed him off.
I mean, it starts off, sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool? Well, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand what the issue with that
One
is.
of the things, and I'm glad he put this in the song about the flag burning.
Absolutely.
Where are our laws that it's against the law to burn the flag, and we never charge these idiots, yes, idiots, these libertard
communists? No, they're communists.
Yeah, and I agree.
They are.
They're rats. That's what
They
I
are.
said one time on the show.
Yeah.
Take the last four letters of Democrats and you get a rat.
Yep.
When I was growing
Rats.
up, and I'm pretty sure, because we were taught this in civics class, believe it or not, in high school, that even if you got the flag dirty, if you
Let it hit the ground.
that was a major no-no. that you did not do that, and you would then have to have the flag properly disposed of at that point.
Yeah.
And now we got people that are stomping on it, throwing it down, they're burning it. But you know what? It doesn't surprise me, because us as Christians, we'll watch people do that even with our Bible. I tell you what, go start lighting the Quran on fire and see what happens. Those people will lose their ever-loving mind. And here, they can get away with it in the big towns. But I agree with Jason Aldean. You start having demonstrations here in Lawrenceburg, and you start stomping on flags and burning flags. I remember, back during all of the George Floyd protests, they started talking about that the BLM and Antifa were going to come to Lawrenceburg because we had a guy arrested, for murder, a white guy. And CNN showed the guy being arrested, and the cops, our sheriff's department, giving him a bottle of water. And CNN came in and they said, look at what this town in Lawrenceburg's doing. This is what they do with white people, is that they treat them with respect. But look what happens to black people. And then they show Floyd on the ground.
They twist it.
They twist it. But I remember this, is that they were talking about, BLM and Antifa were going to get all big buses, and they were going to come to Walmart. They were going to come to Walmart, and they were going to protest. And I'm going to tell you something. I think word got out. They never showed, but I'm going to tell you, if they'd showed, it would have been a bad day for those people, because I know of too many people that were ready to take up arms. They were not going to allow this to happen in Lawrenceburg.
A similar situation happened in Pulaski, and they were going to have their march and everything, and there were people there to back the blue. They had a lot of support, and if anything had went wrong or went awry, there would, no telling what would happen. Try this in a small town. Think about it.
I don't understand the issue. I mean, I really don't get it.
Kip, there was something that came out that I saw, and I want to say, remember this, Tennesseans. They keep calling us far right, okay? When in reality, we've been right so far. Think about it.
That's right.
Think about that. Let that sink in. We need to get that on the billboard.
I like that on the billboard. And earlier, I sent it to you, Kip. I sent you that article talking about this billionaire that is doing everything he can to live forever. And, if you ever want to talk about a conspiracy theory, is going to be the news. It could be a week later, a month later, but eventually that conspiracy theory is proven true. And everybody was talking about adrenochrome, and they were saying with the movie A Sound of Freedom, they're talking about, and this is bloodletting kids, so people can live longer, okay? In that newspaper article, this billionaire, he was saying one of the things that he did in order to stay young is that he was given transfusion of blood from his own son.
Wow. That's crazy.
So I mean, I want you to think about that. And the movie, The Sound of Freedom, I watched it. It never mentioned anything about that at all. But yet they were saying, oh, these people are crazy. These right-wing people are crazy. And then a leftist news article about this billionaire that's trying to live forever. And that's what he's saying. And it said in the article that he is getting blood transfusions from his own son.
Well, I want to bring this up. Jason Aldean with his song and everything that's going on. Think about this. The left has boycotted his song, and they have made it a #1.
Yeah. Right.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
But when the right boycotted Bud Light, okay?
What about Target?
And Target.
Well, let's just stick with Bud Light. I didn't get into his Target. We could go on to Cracker Barrel and everything. But when the right boycotted Bud Light, it inflicted a $30 billion hit to the company. This tells you guys, we are not the same. We're not the same as that left. We are not. So, it's, one thing that great black gentleman by the name of Thomas Sowell. I love reading quotes from him and Frederick Douglass and Martin Luther King Jr. They were great guys. But one of the things that I saw in passing yesterday is no society ever thrived because it had a large and growing class of parasites living on those who produce.
That's right. That makes perfect sense because, like, my girls raise honeybees, and they have these mites that get on the bees, and they get on the bee's head and they feed on the bees. Well, guess what? If these mites get on the bees and there's enough of them that get on the bees, the hive dies off. They die.
Oh, it kills the hive?
It kills the hive.
Wow.
Because these are parasites, and it's something bad. I mean, that'll happen. I mean, it'll wipe out a hive within a month once these things get in there.
Well, there's a lot of people that, there's a lot of falsehoods. We don't know what the truth is out there, and it sometimes is like the more you peel back a layer of an onion, the worse it gets. Trying to find the truth is hard. There's been so many rumors and misnomers put out about who is leaving CMT and, what the real truth is. The real truth that I can tell you is, think about this, Lawrence. Who is the Motor City Madman?
That's Ted Nugent.
Okay, well, he's come out in support of Jason Aldean, and so is Lee Greenwood. And
proud to be American.
That's right.
That you got to think about it. And
Yes.
what this is going to do with what CMT has done, it's going to divide the true conservatives in country music versus the liberals. You're going to see this. I think it's going to happen. And I just want to throw it out there because, there was a big rumor that Luke Bryan had pulled his videos, and is everything that I can tell, that's not true. But I want to tell this is the truth. Jason Aldean has got an Outdoor Network's hunting show called Buck Commander, along with some great friends that are involved in this. Number one, you're going to see Luke Bryan is one that's involved. Willie Robinson from Duck Commander is involved. But also, everybody remembers the famous Braves players. One is Chipper Jones, and the other one is Adam LaRoche. And also Ryan Lingerhans and Tom Martin are involved that were Major League Baseball players. So, there's a lot of truth to some things. So Luke Bryan is a good, close friend. I think him and Jason may be partners in a couple of restaurants. So that's great. And, Jason Aldean, just hang in there, brother. We're behind you. One thing, he's got a good woman behind him that is hanging in there tight, too, Brittany. His wife is very outspoken. I'm telling you, it's one of the most outspoken women that I've ever seen, and stand up for what's right. She don't get crazy. She just tells it like it is. She tells people how the cow eat the cabbage.
That's right.
But another thing that really bothers me, and I want to touch on it, I know our time is getting short. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and shout out to Strikers and WDX,
baby.
That's right.
and WDXE for everything they do for us. But one thing I want to talk about, we talk about legislation, and Scott Shapicki, if you got a problem with this, you got my number. Call me, brother. But I'm a little upset about a press release he released.
Let's get on that one.
I want to talk about that. That's something that bothered me.
Yep.
And Scott and I have not had a conversation about it. But he sent out a little press release, and it says, I'm going to have to put my glasses on to read this one.
Maybe bringing the readers out.
Bringing my cheaters out.
That's right.
I'm deeply disturbed by the vile actions of outsiders who have attempted to intimidate and threaten members of our community. This group does not represent Maury County and the shared values that bring us together. Racism is a repulsive ideology that we will not tolerate. Next session, I will draft legislation to increase punishment for criminal trespassing as well as hate crimes in Tennessee. I strongly encourage anyone with information about these events to contact the Columbia PD. Well, we all know what that's about. There was a couple of different things that went on in Maury County, and it's dealing with this well-known, I think he's 38 years old, nut from over in Santa Fe that went around putting up posters. We cannot control an idiot. You just can't. And we don't need more legislation. We've got hate law crimes on the book at the state of Tennessee now. We've got so much that we can't even enforce it. So why add to? I think we need to look at this a little bit. And Scott, I wish you'd pull this back because we're with you. I'm totally against what this guy did, and he got a young, 16 or 17-year-old boy that was helping him. It was two perpetrators that were involved in this. But, hey, we've got people out there that are a dime a dozen that's going to do something stupid. And this was a stupid move just to try to create animosity. And then while I'm on this, I want to talk about Columbia's mayor. City of Columbia.
Oh, you talking about Chaz Mulder?
Yeah. Y'all remember that? Thank God we didn't get him as a district attorney.
Shout out Brent Cooper.
Shout out to Brent Cooper.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, Brent Cooper's going to be on our program not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. Brent Cooper will be on our show Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
Great. On the Lawrence County GOP show.
Yes, love Brent. Brent's a good conservative.
He is. But just think where we would be if we'd elected Chaz Mulder. And look how he turned against Jason Aldean.
Immediately.
Immediately. I mean, that should tell people, hey, if anybody out there in the city of Columbia is listening, y'all need to get a good conservative candidate for your mayor the next time.
Well, I mean, in case everybody don't remember, during COVID, he's the one pushing the mask, and he was pushing to make people take vaccines and stand 6 feet apart. Thank God for Andy Oogles. You know, Andy Oogles stood up to that BS and kept Murray County, open to do business. And I tell you, the media and Chaz Mulder, thank you for helping getting Andy Oogles elected as our state our federal representative.
Yep. Andy Oogles is a good conservative, and Andy and I worked together on this back when Murray County. I really truly appreciate his stance. We didn't have it in Giles County with our elected leader at that time.
Yeah.
But we didn't have it, and we got behind Andy, and he texted me about having his press conference. I said, look, brother, it's going to look good to have some great conservative representatives standing there with you at that press conference. And we got Clay Doggett involved in it, Todd Warner. And they agreed. I said, Andy, we got troops coming. And that's what you do. You issue a call. And you get folks of like minds together, and you can move mountains.
Yeah, you absolutely can. T.R. Williams was our county executive then, and T.R., same thing. He kept Lawrence County open. T.R., I'm going to give you a shout out for that. We may not agree with everything, but you did everything you could to be a constitutionalist, and that is appreciated.
And I will say our former county executive didn't issue any mask mandates or shut down anything.
Good.
But there was you can tell the difference in a squishy type Republican and a true Christian constitutionalist conservative. You can tell that there is a major difference.
There is.
And I will say this, and I know one of the young guys up in Murray County has posted, on our show, yes, I use the word squishy quite a bit. You hear me use it all the time, Lawrence.
The time.
We've got it in the Senate, we've got it in the House, and we've got it on the State Executive Committee.
You darn straight
we're here, and it's there, and we just got to be exterminators. We've got to put things to bed. So,
well, I didn't get permission to say this, but you'll know who I'm talking about when I say this.
Oh Lord.
But he said, we need to get more involved with what's going on. People need to get more involved, and we need to start going rhino hunting.
Yeah, I know who said that. But, that's one thing, and I'm so proud of Lawrence County and your Republican Party coming back to a great life.
Yeah.
And it's growing.
Hey, Kip did a lot with that. You helped too.
Yeah.
You were helping, and You know, thank
I won't
goodness for
forget that. Kip, you won't forget that night either, will you, brother?
Lord
But
have mercy.
Kip had actually got sick and had you were down for what, about 6 weeks? And they had actually made the Republican Party of Lawrence County, they had deactivated it.
Right.
Going back, going back. Yeah.
And they had actually deactivated it, and I called the state party chair and I said, hey, listen, do you mind me? There's a lot of good conservatives in Lawrence County. Mm-hmm. Do you have a problem with me getting this thing up and going with some good people from Lawrence County? And he agreed, and I reached out to Kip and I said, look, Kip, spearhead this thing. This will help you. And just like I threw him out to MC that night, same thing.
Right.
And I wanted to get his name out there.
Yeah.
And
Well,
this was a great help. And I will tell you, I was met with quite a bit of resistance because some things had gone on behind my back. And so anyway, it is where it's at now. It's great.
Thank
the past
God.
is in the past.
Hey, we're moving and grooving in Lawrence County.
Lawrence
We
County
are.
is
We are.
shaking and baking.
But I'm going to tell you something. You know, Kip took a lot of hits too early on in his campaign.
He did.
You know, people telling him to get the blank out of their office.
Yeah.
You know, when he was asking, just coming in to introduce himself. Even you had people saying, "Yeah, I'm going to support you," and then turn right around and stab him behind the back.
Yep.
And I do want to say this, you know, before we run out of time, is tomorrow.
I'm biting my tongue.
Yeah.
I don't
Would you so? Hey,
I want to come out and say it, brother.
I know, but it's okay. It's all right. Hey, we won. We're good. We won.
Well, I tell you, we would be remiss not talking about this
Tomorrow evening.
Is tomorrow evening.
Yes.
Okay, at 6 p.m. at the courthouse.
Courthouse, second floor.
Second floor. We are going to have our Republican meeting with guest speaker Kip Capley.
Ba-boom, baby.
So, and we may give Kip more than an hour,
Oh, man.
you know, than our radio program we got. So you might get to hear even more things that went on.
I'll ask I'll answer all questions.
He'll answer all questions. Kip will never dodge a question.
Nope.
He has never dodged a question. But I'm going to tell you, people, if you're hearing this and you care about your rights, and I'm not even just going to say gun rights, because once our gun rights are gone, people, listen to me.
Remember Germany.
Hey, remember Germany? What about Russia?
China.
What about China? What about Cambodia? What about Italy? I mean, I can go on and on and on. What about Cuba? What about Venezuela? We had over 200 million people killed in the 20th century alone due to the fact of them taking away guns. And everybody, I'm telling you right now, this is not a gun issue. Yes, the guns, if they take our guns, then they take away our freedom. And but make no mistake, if you don't get involved now, you're going to turn around, you're going to blink. I don't know if it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, but we're going to be just like Germany. We're going to be, look at Canada. Look at Canada. What's happening in Canada? We can even go so far as look what's happening in California, in New York, you know, with them taking away people's rights. And you know why the government is allowed to take away these rights?
Because
they took away the guns.
Nobody is standing up. Nobody's standing up for their Constitution.
That's right.
You know, it's like we talked about. It's like chipping away at an iceberg.
Yes.
But I want to tell, you know, y'all have got the great meeting. And, of course, August the 10th, we've got the Giles County Republican Party, got a gentleman from Restore Liberty, that's a big constitutionalist, Jim Barth, who's going to be our guest speaker. And then in September, we're going to hold off. We got a big one coming, and we're going to get a report card on all you legislators, the governor, the Senate, and the House.
I know what the governor's going to get, a big, fat F.
F minus.
Yeah.
Okay.
F
But anyway,
minus.
we've got all these good things coming, and there again, our hour goes by so quick.
Yes.
You know, when you're having fun and enjoying this and this conservative talk radio that Southern Middle Tennessee needs, let's give a shout out to WDXE.
Shout out WDXE. Shout out Strikers Steakhouse.
And shout out to Strikers.
How much time we got, Charlotte?
We got 1 minute.
60 seconds. Lawrence County GOP tomorrow, 6 o'clock, second floor, Lawrence County Courthouse. If you care about your rights, you need to be there. If you don't, that's fine. I don't want to hear you complaining.
That's correct. I I do not want to hear anybody complaining.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the complaining. That's the reason we've gotten involved. Is it easy? No. Is it more fun to sit home and watch Dancing with the Stars? Probably, even though I would never watch that program. But you know what, people, we have got to get involved. And don't think that your one voice doesn't matter. I hear so much from people that they'll say it's only one voice. It doesn't matter. No, because we come together as a group.
One thing in closing I want to mention, there again, a shout out to strikers, but I just want to mention this. Have any of y'all been to Walmart in the last few days?
This is WDXE,
Look at the Skittles
W287AA and W237FD Lawrenceburg. Broadcast services of Prospect Communications.
I give a damn about
The Rich Eisen Show.
God, I love that guy.
Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
Solid. Jerry, Agent of the Stars, I had to give